Hello everyone, welcome back to Game Time Matter. It's the season end, so we thought we'd go out with a bang. We have a special guest here, Mr. Dennis D'Souza. He's a faculty at our college. He's our sir, he's our mentor, he's a teacher. Who else better to have it for the season review? So let's get on with it straight away, sir. Your thoughts on the season. How interesting was the season? So your thoughts on the season entirely.
You're talking about the Champions League, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you talk about the finals, I would say it's one-sided. So
Right. 5-0 against Inter and PSG.
yeah. So we got a lot of friends in our group, and you know that I still play football,
Right.
and we just keep on talking about, "Arey, did you watch last night's match?" and all that thing is. But what happens is that yes, the way Inter came after defeating Barcelona, the comeback.
Right.
Everybody was thinking that chalo, this Inter will
might
be
interesting.
yeah.
To say the
And
least.
Inter will take it up. Yeah.
Right.
Because PSG, yes, I am sure that again talking about the finals, in India or especially in Mumbai from where I come from, like we don't have any PSG or Inter Milan fans as such.
Very
yes.
rarely.
Yes. During my younger days, yes, AC Milan was one club where we used to a lot of follow. But when it when it came to the final that day, we seen the absolute attacking of PSG, which was resulting around 70-30% possession. Yeah, and they scored.
They scored
I mean, Hakimi scores a goal where
it's a tap in.
Di Marco, where he's supposed to be, he's just lost his position, gone there, and through these three players, the ball is just coming like it's like even I could have scored that goal. I mean, it was like that. Yeah, it was so simple. I mean, that was a very simple goal. So again, the second goal. Now, putting somebody else in Inter Milan's place, like I would say Barcelona would be a better thing because they would have come here, better opponent, and they would have come 2-1 at least in the second half.
It could have been interesting.
Yeah. And the way Barcola missed twice, I think so, it could have 7-0. Right. Somebody else missed, it could have 8-0 or something like that.
Bastoni did say back in 2023, like, I would rather lose 10-0 in the finals than the way we did against City, and they lost 5-0. Could have been 10 as well.
Exactly. And if you go to see, there was only one strike on the goal from Inter. Right. That also, Donnarumma just fell on his on the ground and he just saved. Right. That was the only thing. So I don't.
So do you think PSG were overall much better than Inter Milan, or Inter Milan did not have that intensity that they usually did?
Yeah, they didn't have the intensity. It is like if you see their forward Martinez and all, they are barely touch the ball.
Right.
They barely touch the ball. They say. What when you talk about this PSG, one player was very much into action over there. Oh, Vitinha.
Vitinha, right.
He was a playmaker. I feel that he was a playmaker. He was like, if you see the goal which second he scored, Doi.
Desiree Doué, right.
Yeah, Doi. He scored the second goal.
Right.
So he took the ball right from the their half, and he bought it. He gave a pass. I know Dembele gave a back pass, and that's how the thing happened. But that was a classic thing. I mean, for me, he was like more of the man of the match or something. Right. Yeah, because somebody is
at the heart of the game.
Yes,
especially. And do you feel like Luis Enrique now deserves to be called a very great manager, which he already was, but he had gone into back into the
Of course. I feel he deserves to be there. Yeah. Because it all starts from what they commit. No, see, they are all focused coaches and managers. He said at the beginning of the season that I want to plow the flag over there at the finals, and that's what he did.
Right.
And I can understand the emotional part over there, but yes, I feel that you can put him in the categories of the great coaches and managers.
And another player that I would love to speak about is Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. He came from Napoli in the January transfer window. Napoli, who ended up winning the Serie A. He's won the treble now with PSG. Do you feel like there are times when wingers need to change clubs in order to become better, or they can just stay at one club and try to become better?
No, change is necessary. Change is necessary. Change is important. So I feel that's very important. Now, just because you mentioned the name Napoli, there's just 1 point difference in the Serie A.
Right.
So Inter Milan had a total bad luck. That was the only trophy
they could have won. Right.
So that's what.
It might have resulted in them feeling down, for the finals as well.
Exactly.
If buts and maybes. I think, what's more interesting than PSG winning is a lot more teams winning a lot of trophies this season. Newcastle broke their curse of 120 years. Crystal Palace after 60 years. Bologna after 51 years. Spurs after 17 years.
Tottenham,
Spurs, which is a club I support. I was crying the entire day,
yeah.
to be honest. Do you feel like this is a season of
Yeah,
broken
there's a
trust?
shift. There's a shift.
Right.
There's a change, which is a good thing, and that's what. No, no. Sorry to bring that word of cricket into this. Yes, you see in the RCB.
RCB as well.
Yeah, probably
Right.
it was one of the new clubs going to win the IPL.
IPL.
So similarly, when it comes to football, yes, we require the change also. Also, you've been seeing in the English Premier League domination of Manchester City.
Right.
So people were saying that, "Arey, Manchester City, Manchester City."
But
So
they themselves were fighting for a UCL spot this season.
yeah, I mean, Arsenal consistently was second over
Right.
there, and Manchester City could not overtake them.
Right.
So that's the good thing. And yes, Crystal Palace. Now, what happens is that once you are topping your league or you're getting some big accolades such as FA Cup and all, you're automatically qualifying for the
Right.
Europa.
But then again, they have a problem wherein their owner has a part in Lyon,
Yeah,
and it's a rule wherein you
Crystal
cannot
Palace.
have right. The
Yeah.
Crystal Palace owner has a part in a part ownership in Lyon. You cannot have two teams with
Yeah.
the same owner in the same league.
Yeah.
So they have a hearing. So do you think if the hearing goes and you have to choose one club, we cannot allow you to sell your ownership.
Yeah.
So who do you think the owner would support more?
Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace. Why? Mainly because English Premier League is the topmost league in the world.
Much more commercialized.
Much commercialized, much more fan
captive.
following.
Right.
Yeah, and if you talk about the other club, I mean, in India, if you see, everybody knows Crystal Palace.
Right.
Everybody
Especially
knows.
because
And they know AZ also as such.
Right,
as
Michael.
well. Yeah.
Eze.
And people have witnessed that game because the game started at 8:30 in the evening on a Sunday evening or Saturday evening. So it's like that. So people do watch that. But when it comes to French League One or something, they must be not knowing all that thing. So I feel yes, he should go. I mean, if there is a shift,
right,
he can go with Crystal Palace.
Another question that I would love to ask people have been saying that Spurs did win the Europa League, but they did finish 17th in the league. So do you think Spurs saved their season the trophy, or do you feel like they still had a bad season?
No, they had a bad season.
Right.
They had a bad season. If you see also the initial games which were finishing in the end, in fact, they lost against Brighton, right?
Right. They lost against a lot of teams. Yeah,
the last game they lost against Brighton. No?
4-1.
While Manchester United was playing against Aston Villa, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So they were 16-17, and that's how they went into 15. And obviously, Aston Villa also missed the bus on top. Yeah. To come back to your question, yes, they had a bad season.
Right.
I was not expecting that from Spurs. Yeah.
Especially considering they finished in the 5th last season in the league.
Yeah.
The Spurs had a lot of injuries, and injuries has been quite a big concern this season. A lot of teams have seen a lot of players being injured. In fact, the Ballon d'Or winner Rodri, he was out for the entire season.
Yeah.
So how important is it to have your players not being injured, and how do you ensure that they aren't injured?
Absolutely. I mean, injury is a very big problem. I mean, please understand, this is a club model game, and there are owners over there, and they are investing heavily on that. Probably there are some owners which are having money, but yes, there are some clubs which are having the investors coming in.
Right.
So somebody having an injury, I mean, it's a total
big blow.
It's a big blow. It's a big blow, and big blow to the performance. Many a times they have colleagues, who are injured. They have colleagues. So the playmaking is that way. So it's like you pick up, you remove Messi from a winning Argentina team. I mean, there will be chaos.
There will be chaos.
I mean, even a Nigeria could, even a Saudi can come and defeat them. Otherwise, yeah. Right. But yes, that's the thing.
And focusing on the La Liga, it was interesting to say the least till the December or the Christmas break, wherein 3 teams were on similar points. Barcelona ended up winning. So how much of a reason is Hansi Flick for this trophy or those trophies, or have the players come into their own this season as well? Like, who do you
no, it's total teamwork. It's total teamwork. The best part about this Barca thing is the consistency.
Right.
Okay, and they're very persistent on certain things. Okay, so maybe they have not tried something really out of the way or something. But yes, if you coming back to your question, both Hansi Flick and the entire team has gelled so well. I mean, if you see the Real Madrid match, Real Madrid was leading.
Right.
It was completely I think so. They were 2-0 in the
2-0. Sorry, right.
2-0 in the
14th or the 15th.
And that is how what happens. And then you have a break, half time. So that's how they come together and they find out. Maybe they could have scored that time, but that is what the time we are trying to where we can find the bright ideas to score. And and then the things were quite different. It was 4-2, and then they came with one goal, I think so,
Right,
4-3
4-3,
something.
right. Mbappe scored a hat trick as well.
Yes, yes.
So again, speaking of Mbappe, he joined Real Madrid this season. There's not a lot of spotlight on him.
Yeah.
Real Madrid did not ended up winning a trophy, but Kylian Mbappe has the European Golden Boot. So how important is it to have a player to carry a team, or is it necessary for the entire team, or two players maybe to have their best season in order for a club to win a trophy?
Yeah, Mbappe, you know what happened, is a very big name. Okay, he's a very classy finisher.
Right.
Okay, I mean he would strike the goal 100 times and he will get 98 out of that. But at times, what happens is that's where the difference between the Barcelona and Real Madrid comes into. The gel between the Barcelona players. The thing is that they don't go into a selfish mode,
Right.
or a selfish game.
There's no ego.
But
between
what
players.
happens here? We have to feed Mbappe in such a way that he will be only scoring. And all
Right,
that.
right.
At times when you see Barcelona, everybody is scoring. Even the defending, even the defender is scoring. The midfielder is scoring. The forwards are scoring.
Right.
Rafinha did a good job. Let's come back to that. But yes, Mbappe, yeah, you require a lot of things. But then again, he's got a star in front of him, no? Vinicius Junior.
Right.
So all that is there. So it all happens that way. That whenever they are going towards the goal 1-1, they'll barely pass or something like that. They won't play like a typical Barcelona style. They only will go towards the goal and they'll try
They
to
go
score
for
there.
glory more than
And what happens is that they don't. Maybe I do not know. I'm not that expert as such. But at that time, the goalkeeper is also giving 100% over there. That if he's scoring, they know they have watched a lot of videos. They have done a lot of analysis, and which way right to go to stop the ball which is going grounder or the in the air. So I feel that's how it is.
So speaking of Real Madrid, they have a new manager this season, Xavi Alonso. Do you think he has the capabilities to change this club around after the season they had?
Yeah, so Xavi Alonso was also a player over there
for Real Madrid.
Yeah, for Real Madrid, he was also a player. He was very successful at the Liverpool level,
and at Bayern Munich as well.
And Bayern Munich as well. So what happens, you cannot be. So I call them international coaches also, because they have gone all over the continents and they have done their thing and they have understood the idea of how it is all about nurturing the players. Again, coming back to Luis Enrique, no big names. I mean, once a PSG had Neymar, had a Messi, had a Mbappe, right? No, all these
Sergio
players.
Ramos in the
Sergio,
back.
they had all that thing, but they could not win a major trophy.
Right.
Yeah. Now look at this. Now look at this over here. And Xabi Alonso, I'm sure that he'll be having some qualities about how to get people right from the sky level to a ground level or something that way. He'll inculcate something good in that, and I think so. He'll make a difference.
Right. They have signed players already. It's not even the end of June yet, and they've signed two players already: Dean Huijsen and Alexander Arnold. Both of them being defenders. So, how important is defense to this Real Madrid team, considering they already have Rudiger?
Yeah. So, because see, they're quite new now. So, and you're going to have a new coach. How the coach is going to use them is also important. Many times I've seen when you're signing a lot of players, you're there on the bench also at times, because they want them to understand the way of we play also. So that is also there, because obviously any coach or any thing will always go with his best 11. Right? No, he will always go with his best 11, and that's how they come to know. A lot of very less, you will see maybe around 10% or 15% of the time a coach experiments something to go with the newer players and all that thing. But let's wait and watch and see that what happens.
Again, being on Real Madrid, they have two very big youngsters, Endrick and Arda Güler on their bench. So, do you think Arda Güler and Endrick should change clubs in order to find game time, or are they fine, just staying where they are?
No, they should be staying where they are. They're quite young. Real Madrid is a very big name. Please understand, the majority of the Champions Trophy is in their name. Okay.
15
yes, and they have been very successful in the Kings Cup and the La Liga also. So they don't have to. They don't have to think. I could have understand if they were in a Osasuna or some Real Betis or
small
something.
club.
Yeah. But it's a big name, yeah. I mean, and see, you have to also understand there are a lot of endorsements and things going on also. So it helps them that way also.
It helps their popularity within
Popularity
the
also.
football.
Yeah.
And now to Atletico Madrid, they haven't had a standout season, but a player that I have personally watched quite a lot this season has been Julian Alvarez. how important is he not just to Atletico Madrid but also to Argentina now that Lautaro Martinez is kind of having a bad form?
No, it's very important to have him. Yeah, I think so. He'll make wonders for that.
Mm.
Again, speaking of Martinez, I was just wondering. I mean, uh, just before the finals, he was 9 goals in the Champions League. He was the
Right.
highest. But look at that. The team is not performing well there, right from behind to this thing. So that's where your player comes into action. I think so. Is important for both Atletico
Right.
Madrid and
Julian Alvarez can play a lot. He can play as
yeah,
a
yeah,
winger,
yeah.
as an attacking
Yeah.
midfielder, and as a striker.
See, once you are from Argentina,
Right.
you are blessed.
Right.
You're blessed. Uh, you only need to go to a club where you get support.
Hmm.
That's what Messi, for example,
Mhm.
Messi. Whichever club he went, he got all the supports.
Hmm.
Which club he did not get support? No, I mean I don't want to mention anything, but I mean I'm just saying that. See, that's where the failure starts.
Right. And now Nations League and a lot of international break is happening, wherein
Yeah.
a lot of players have faced each other in the finals and each other at clubs, including Marcus Thuram and Dembele, who are French and both have been called up for the France national team. So, do you think the club season affects their international breaks quite a lot? Wherein a lot of players from the same nationality have a lot of fights. How do you think it hinders the national team quite a lot?
If you talk to me about the bigger break, yes, it hinders the club. It
Right.
hinders the club as well as the country or whatever it is. Big breaks, yeah, there are there. That's how That's how I like how the English Premier League teams work. They know
Hmm.
they do a lot of tours and all.
Hmm.
They go to the Americas, they go to the Southeast Asian countries, they do a lot of exhibition things and all that.
Manchester United players came to India.
Yeah. So that is a part of their promotion thing, and that is a part of how to increase their fan base and
Right.
all that thing. Yes, that's always a good thing.
Hmm.
But yes, when you're talking about playing and you take a break, there's a very big international break. So you try to be a little bit complacent about it, like okay, let's see, sometimes the word is lethargic also. So
Right.
all these things are there, and it hampers your performance.
Coming to the Premier League now, Manchester United ended up finishing 15th, and they lost the finals to Spurs. Now they're signing quite a lot of players. They
Yeah.
signed Matthias Cunha already, and Buemo is going there. So, do you think new players is the way for Manchester United to go, or a new manager would be a better change?
Yeah, I mean, this manager when he came,
Ruben Amorim, right?
they were what in the top 8,
Right, they were in the top.
and then he takes them on the
15th.
bottom 16,
Right.
right? No, so obviously I don't need to say they need to change the manager, but at the same time you also forgot to mention they have kept all the players for sale also.
Right, Alejandro Garnacho could
So
go to
that's
Chelsea as
so
well.
that's good. They have to do that because see, it's a ownership club. No?
Hmm.
They need to do that.
And they've been taking a lot of monetary reductions and not allowing a lot of their staff to go to the Europa
To the
League finals.
canteens and
Right,
yeah,
that is it. The
They-
canteens have
this
been
cost
changed.
cutting is a part of
Right.
their this thing.
So, and they're still going on and signing players. So, do you think there is something wrong with the management, or do you think they're going the right way right now?
There is everything wrong with the club itself.
Right.
Okay. Now you see if they are finishing on the 15th rank after they won this thing. Uh, I read in an article written by a very big journalist. I mean, the estimated loss is around 100 million euros.
Right.
It is there because why? Simply because of not qualifying, not being on the. See, every stage of the every position where they come on the table, there is some money involved in
Right.
that thing.
You get a prize money for that.
There's a prize money for that
For
for
winning trophies
qualifying.
as well.
You see, even the team getting relegated, but the team
Hmm.
coming from the
Championship.
champions, this thing league
Championship,
over here,
right.
which they come, championship, they're getting some elevation and all that. That's how. That's how. If you see when Leeds came, some years
Hmm.
back, they could buy so many
So many
players. Yeah,
right.
that's how they could buy
They
so many
bought
players
like
with the
9 or
existing.
10 players around.
Yeah, and one or two big names over there
Hmm.
makes a huge of a difference. So similarly, when you're talking about Manchester United, yeah, look at the loss and all that. However, they are making good money in the merchandise and all. That's
Right.
how this Harry
Signings.
Maguire and all these people are coming as celebrities here in this
Country.
very populated countries where people
They
love
can
to
make a
wear.
lot of money.
Yes, people love.
Right. Staying in the Premier League, you spoke about big names. Jamie Vardy, who is a big name, despite being one of the most prolific strikers in the Premier League for the last 11 years. Leicester City has relegated now. So do you feel like, Jamie, you should retire once your, club is going down, and you should just hang up your boots and
Yeah, he has to hang up his boot. I think so.
yeah, he has hung up his boots.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you think it was a
Yeah.
right decision, or he
Yes,
should
it
have
was the
stuck?
right decision.
Right.
It was the right decision. Why? Simply because he goes in a lot of pride and honor. I'll tell you why. 2015, Leicester City winner.
Yeah, the 15th
Simple as that.
season,
And he
right.
was the main chap. He was the main guy there.
Right.
So he's going with a lot of pride and honor.
Right. And staying in the Premier League, Liverpool has won the Premier League after 4 years. Arne Slot has come in, and do you feel like he's revolutionized the entire club, or did he receive a revolutionized club already by Jurgen Klopp?
Yeah, I would say both the ways. He got a revolutionary club because Klopp had already set up the benchmark, and Klopp is just like Pep Guardiola.
Right.
So he's somewhere like he wants to be somewhere here and all that thing. And they got a good guy. And see, there was no much of hue and crew about that man also. He came in quietly, he was introduced quietly, he did his job, he gave them the trophy.
Yeah, he did not do a lot, or did not change a lot.
Yeah, what happened is that when they went to Europe, talking about your Champions League and all that, yeah, somewhere they faltered because I do not know, maybe you see in the FA Cup only they were out against Plymouth.
Right.
Too complacent. What happened is, we can
They
defeat
lost
this
to Crystal Palace in
small
the
team.
FA Cup as well.
Yes, so that's all that is.
So, now going to the second place team, Arsenal. So Arsenal finished second, despite, they had a very good league season, to say the least, and they also had a very good Champions League campaign where they went to the semi-finals. So still, there are a lot of speculations about Mikel Arteta going. Do you think Arsenal should stick with Mikel Arteta, or they should just change him?
No, I think so. They should stick with Mikel Arteta. I'll tell you the reason why. If you see the point table, no, they have the most number of draws. Arsenal.
Right.
And if you see the number of draws with the Liverpool, no, is quite less.
Right.
If this so many draws were converted to certain wins, maybe 3 wins. Believe me, 3 wins, they would have been 2 points ahead of Liverpool.
Right.
If you get time, you can go and see that table. You can because I was really monitoring that thing. So that is what is the problem in an English Premier League. You cannot take a home match to be a draw.
Right.
And there are so many matches they are having a draw.
Right.
So you cannot have. So if I'm not mistaken, I think so 12 draws were there in that thing. So that's a big, huge number. And 9 or 12, I don't know. But yeah, there's a huge, big number. They could have easily converted. Like, they came from behind and equalized and they drew it. I mean, you cannot have you cannot draw a game at your home. Okay, I can understand if you're traveling City or a United and all that thing, then it's a draw and all is okay. Okay, at least you give a best because now is the time you can come back and do better for your club. So I think so they should stick to them. They should work on the numbers. Okay, they should work on the numbers. They got a terrific side. There's nothing about it.
Right. And at the heart of Arsenal, there is Declan Rice. He played very well against Real Madrid. He basically cooked Real Madrid, to say the least. There have been many standout players this season. Harry Kane winning the Bundesliga, his first title in so many years, and he was the top scorer of the Bundesliga. Do you feel like who do you think is your standout player? Someone who you think has come into their own shoes.
You're telling me about these two names, Declan Rice and
Harry Kane. No,
Harry
those are two players that I feel have shown their worth to the world. Do you feel like there is any other player?
So what happened is that they both have their own strength. I would give credit to both of these guys because see why? I'll tell you. Declan Rice, yes, he's the expectation is more at the Arsenal thing.
Right.
And when you're saying that he would literally cook them with a curling shot at the it was mind blowing to see. So I feel that they also deserve to be in the Champions League final also.
Right.
Keeping in mind because keeping in mind again coming back to the Inter Milan PSG thing, people said अरे उसके जगह पे Barcelona होता would be a very big thing. Arsenal also have done well. Liverpool also had done well. So like something was there for PSG. PSG was very determined. But again coming to this guy, so Declan Rice, I think so he's also very important. Talking about your Harry Kane, see he's going there. He's an outsider totally in Germany, and German people are very, 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 very serious about their football.
Very disciplined.
Yeah, very disciplined. And you'll see you'll always get a house full, no matter whichever Bayern Munich plays or whatever it is. They always come to support. There is a lot of enthusiasm behind it, and to win, away from England, and you have to adopt this, and you have to win the match. And he has scored some brilliant goals in that. Yeah.
And speaking of Bundesliga, you said you were a very football fan from a lot of old times. Hamburg has now been promoted to the Bundesliga after 8 years. So do you feel like a lot of changes are required in order for a league to be better, or it's much better if you just have 17 teams and all the relegated and the promoted team just keep going back and coming back?
Uh, I do not know much about this thing.
Bundesliga.
The Bundesliga, yes, I follow, but I do not know about. You're trying to tell me to change their model or something?
No, I'm asking you if new teams are required to make the league more interesting.
Yeah, but that again depends on the relegation and the promotion.
Right.
So yeah, we need this thing. I mean, always if you see in English Premier League also we are coming.
Right.
Norwich City is one of the clubs where you had 5 times they came, they got
Right.
relegated, and 5 times they came back.
Right.
Yeah, so they have been struggling to move up
Right.
the ladder. But yes, again talking about this Hamburg and all, yes, we want new teams to be coming in.
Right. Sunderland is now back into the Premier League. So many changes we're seeing since this season. A new Ballon d'Or winner maybe coming. Who do you think will win the Ballon d'Or this season?
I will personally go with Rafinha.
Rafinha.
Yeah.
Right.
Rafinha is because why? I'll tell you for the two reasons. Is number one is because so he's been a very good player. You know that. I've been watching him play Leeds United.
Right,
he
right,
was
right.
there as the leader, and I could see
he saved them from relegation as well.
Yes, he saved them from relegation, and there were a lot of things. I think one of the matches where the bigger clubs were there. I do not know, United or somebody there. He was a very main factor there.
Right.
Again, you have to also consider the leadership qualities of that man.
Rafinha. Right.
Yeah, Rafinha. And Barcelona captain, no? He's
the third captain after Ter Stegen and Frenkie de Jong.
Yeah, and I feel that he deserves, yes. But again, taking names of people in Dembele, yeah.
Lamine Yamal has
Lamine Yamal
played very well this season.
That all goes on the vote, no? That all goes on. Somebody has to pick me a vote. I would pick up
Rafinha. And now to the young player of the season, Lamine Yamal has already won the Copa Trophy, so he cannot win again.
Yeah.
Pau Kubarsi and Desiree Doué have a big chance of winning. So who do you think has been better of them this season?
I really like that Doué.
Desiree Doué.
Yeah, right. He's just 19, I guess. I think so. He's just 19. Right. I mean, he's playing like a 30-year-old. I mean, he's playing with a lot of experience.
Right.
And so much maturity for a young guy. I came to know his age when I was watching the final 11.
Right.
I know we have been watching, but the commentator was every time because the first 2 goals he only scored.
Right.
Look at this 19-year-old. I mean, from where does he look a 19-year-old at times? I can understand Yamal. He looks like a young kid or something that way, but he looks quite matured. I mean, I think so. He's got a chance to.
So now to the tail end of our video, I have to speak about the FIFA Club World Cup. So who do you think has a big chance of winning? There are so many.
Now you are saying Barcelona is not there.
Right. Barcelona is not in the FIFA Club
World Cup. I mean, they deserve to be in the. They deserve to be in the Champions League final also. But yes, again, I feel the way this competition was held. I mean, you have to give even credit to PSG. If you say that Inter Milan came back from losing thing and all that, yes, you have to give credit to PSG also right from the beginning of the season. I am not mistaken. They lost one match in the entire league, entire Champions League.
No. In the Champions League group stage, they I think they finished 15th. They had. They had lost quite a few games.
Yeah, they had lost 5. No, in the they had lost.
Sorry. They had a very much better season than the Champions League. They were about to be, not qualify for the round of 16 at all. There were 2 round of 16, wherein the teams from number 9 to 24 had to play each other, and then there was a round of 16. PSG was in that mix, but like PSG.
So if you tell me to choose among the European clubs, like I'm sure that no Asian clubs and all these people will do. I mean, Real Madrid is there, but I feel that PSG got an edge.
PSG has a much better chance.
PSG
so
got an edge.
there are many exciting matches, more to come and a lot to look forward to. And I think this will be the end of our video. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Thank you for having me.
No worries, absolutely. I'm sure sir will be here for a lot more videos. And for more videos like this, keep watching Game Time.